It's a sad day for Formula One when a 10-year veteran leaves the sport. That's the case at the moment with Nico Hulkenberg. It's a sad day for F1 with Nico Hulkenberg leaving the sport. For how long? Nobody quite knows. Maybe he'll be back halfway through the year. He might be back next year. You never know. But what will we miss about this marvellous young man? Quite tall, with a mop of blonde hair, has been a regular at F1 for the past decade. He started with Williams in 2010. He then sat out 2011 as a test driver. In 2012, he moved to Force India. In 2013, he went to Sauber. In 2014, he went back to Force India. 2017, he joined Renault and has been there for the last 3 years. We will miss his good nature. We will miss his proud walk through pit lane. We'll miss seeing the number 27 out on track. As a photographer, I'll miss shooting him as he comes around turn 1 here at the Spa circuit in Belgium. We'll miss his bicycle riding, which he pretty much has on his own in Monaco. We'll miss him giving the fingers up to the FIA guys as he goes past. We're going to miss Martin Poole, his trainer, who's a regular around the paddock. About the same age as Nico, about the same height, sporting similar hairstyles too. Martin Poole will be missed. Where am I going to find someone that's going to do this for me at a race? Or this was actually in Abu Dhabi testing last year. Someone with that sort of fun and games who will then sign that photo with something like, making an average photographer look great. You're welcome, Nico Hulkenberg. He's such a great character. A sad loss to the sport. I know James Lloyd, his press officer at Renault, he'll miss the ribbing that he gets from Nico, the sack wax that he's had to endure over the years. Of course, from time to time, James does make mistakes, and in this particular instance, Nico was holding up some cards of Daniel Ricciardo's that James had inadvertently brought for Nico to sign. A character, took it lightly, had a bit of fun with it. This was another great moment that I'll always remember, and I do hope that I get to photograph him in the future. In the paddock here in Japan, I'd taken one of these particular cutouts with Nico's face, and I had it strapped around the front lens of my camera. He's seen it as he's come towards me. It's life size. In fact, it might even be bigger than life size. It got his attention. Jumping back a slot here. He laughed at it, thought it was hilarious, asked me how the whole thing worked. And in the end, I think I ended up, I did. I gave it to him and said, here, you may as well have it. It's good for one use only. And off he wandered with James and this funny cutout of his head. We're going to miss his PA, Simone. I shot her for the first time at the German GP at the same time that I met his mother, Suzanne, and I've shot his father before on numerous occasions. This is Klaus Dieter. We're going to miss the sack whack. Nico was a great proponent of it, standing on the grid here at the British GP, waiting for the national anthem, Carlos unsuspecting, both looking down, then bang, he cops it in the balls, with the Lando Norris looking on in the background. One thing is definitely going to be missed, and that is his beautiful girlfriend, Sunny. Sunny and he were very hard to shoot together. In actual fact, I think I can recount just 3 occasions when I've had them in the near proximity. In this case, she's a couple of metres behind, so I don't even know if that counts. But Sunny is a gem, brightened up the paddock. She's also known as the crochet girl and sells beautiful fashion works. Always smiled for my lens and really brought some life to the paddock. So Sunny, unfortunately, probably won't be there too much next year. Of course, Esteban Ocon fills the seat, and with Esteban comes his beautiful girlfriend, Elena Berry. But let's go back to Nico because we're talking about his last days at the Renault team. I think Cyril is going to miss one of his 2-star drivers. Certainly they are a great pairing, Daniel and he. As a sponsor, I don't know whether you could get a much better pairing than these two. Good fun, likeable characters, always smiling in front of the cameras. He's not much of a cricketer though, Nico. I think he'd agree on this, and this was back in the mid-year at the Silverstone track on the Thursday. Everyone, all the drivers anyway, had a crack at playing cricket. And what undies is he wearing? Let's have a quick look. He's got them riding up quite high here. Let's have a look. Calvin Klein's. There we go, a nice plug for Calvin Klein underwear. I'm going to miss waving to him and photographing him as he comes around the swimming pool exit in one of the great shots that we get. His fans are going to miss him. Fans like Haruka, who was waiting some time for him outside the hospitality suite at the Japanese Grand Prix. And when he did come out, he realised that she'd been waiting a long time, went over there, gave her a hug, because he appreciates those that follow him. We're going to miss his trendy jeans. This is a pair of Dolce & Gabbanas. I'm not sure if we're going to miss these shoes. I photographed him in the good times. Here he is pumping the fist after he's qualified well in the 2018 Mexican GP. I've photographed him in the sad times too. And there was no sadder than the German Grand Prix this year when he crashed out while looking like he could be heading for a top 4, maybe even a top 3 finish. On the final slippery turn, he ended up sitting in the marshal's tent, head in his hands, none too happy. But on the other side, I've seen the fun side of this man. And this has great memories for me after the Singapore GP this year. He and Martin Poole sitting out the back there. He's just finished a long race. It's stinking hot. He's having water poured over his head. And then at some point he looks at me and he just says, Ilman, take a photo of me eating a Snickers bar. I don't know why, but he wanted a photo of that. I said, why did you want that? He said, that's a funny thing. Well, there you go, eating a Snickers bar. I don't think there's another driver that plays up to my lens like Nico does, and I have so many shots, and maybe nearly enough for a calendar, him pointing me out here in the paddock, playing silly buggers, putting his hat in front of his face in the Chinese paddock, the big wide-eyed look here, the funny gurning face as he was heading back from his track ride, that race, after a very good race for him, harking back to the Italian GP. He's come out of the hospitality suite after the race. He's run straight towards me and given me the tongue poking out, and the yo pose in Singapore with Martin Poole. So I've had some beautiful memories photographing this great German, and I will certainly miss the man. He's been an inspiration to me and a lot of fun, and I think you too will also be very sad to see Nico Hulkenberg leave F1 in 2019. Remember, you can like and subscribe so you don't miss out on future YouTube videos. Your comments are always appreciated. You can own any of my images by heading to prostarpics.com. My blogs and podcasts, you'll find them at kimillman.com, and pics live from the track and during the week on Instagram at Kim Illman. Thanks for watching and stay passionate.